welcome to the next lesson here where we're going to be looking at Stripe and more specifically ways we handle payments, subscriptions, and anything that is imperative for us to know about when handling money in an AI automation agency business. Now, one little tip before we jump into this, it's always going to be easier for a business to do work with you if it's a one-time fee opposed to a recurring fee. That's why a lot of the times the context a recurring fee would come into play is during an upsell model, which you'll see in today's video. Before we jump into the back end on Stripe, let's just go ahead and get an idea of what Stripe even is. As you see here, Stripe is known for its APIs and its ability to really connect with a ton of different softwares, which allows us to do a lot of cool stuff. Furthermore, it is a globally accepted payment solution with a lot of effective features such as Link, which essentially allows a user, if they've done a Stripe payment in the past and have saved their data with their email, that can check out with one click rather than going through an entire checkout process for your specific invoice or subscription. Now here at WebCafe AI, we love the way they structure the recurring model and the different API calls we can do within it, as it stands out as one of the most powerful tools within Stripe. Furthermore, if you ever needed to do multiple payouts with their API, you can do that, which is always an issue I found with PayPal, having to go through a lot of circles and hoops in order to achieve different things with their API. Stripe really gives you access to their backend, which is really, really cool. Want to learn more? I suggest you check out their website here, and there's a bunch of different case studies here that you can explore more in depth about what Stripe can do for your business. As a side note here, if Stripe is not available within your country, go ahead and use PayPal as an alternative. Everything you learned in today's lesson can still be applied to PayPal. It's just the UI will probably look different. All right, let's go ahead and begin. We are in a test account here for Stripe. This is going to be all test data, so none of this is real. But for your reference, when you first log into Stripe, you're going to get a nice little dashboard here. You're going to get the amount of money you made today. And then you come down here, you can go ahead and adjust all these different metrics with the dates over here, such as gross volume, net volume from sales, new customers, and so on. Let's go ahead and do the first most important thing when starting with the Stripe platform. Let's go ahead and create an invoice. To do so, we're going to come up here to our tabs here. We're going to hit payments. We're going to come over here to create payment, hit invoice. Now that we have our invoice here, we can go ahead and add relevant information. For your reference, as you see here, we got our address here for WebCafe AI. We got our logo. A lot of this stuff is going to be set up in the settings, which we can go ahead and show you after this little demo. From here, though, we'll go ahead and add the customer or the person we'll be sending the invoice to. In this context, we could just hit add new customer. You'd put a name here. We'll put Tim. Let's do a whole name. We'll do Tim Adams. And then we'll do timadams@gmail.com. You would choose a language. You'd save that information here. And then we have a ton of different pieces of information we need to provide. So the first option here is to choose an item. Is this going to be a one-time item, or is this going to be a reoccurring service you plan on selling multiple times? In the context that you plan on using the same service and selling it to multiple businesses, I suggest you to create a product. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and name it AI article generator. Do quantity of 1, and then whatever you would charge for this. Let's say we charge 400. And then you can choose whether to include tax or not. Let's go ahead and include tax here. We're going to save. And we're going to go ahead and now have the AI article generator placed on our invoice. We're going to go ahead and request a payment here. We can manage the payment methods here. Go ahead and select the ones that you want to work with this Stripe invoice. As you see, you can activate even more. Following this, we're going to have a delivery type. Most of the time, you're just going to want to email to the customer this direct link here. And then finally, we can add a ton of different information with the PDF here. So for example, add a memo. In this context, we could just do thanks for your business. Maybe you want to give a timeline. This will be done in 1 to 2 weeks. Hit confirm. And we come over here. We can add more to the footer here. So more information can be put on the footer. We can add a custom field. We can add a request for a tax ID. All in all, we have our invoice. We got our information here. We got the client's information. We got the description of the underlying service we're providing. We could add more information here if we wanted to. We can see what it looks like in an email. Really nice UI. We can even see what the payment page would look like. As you see here, essentially when the individual clicks to pay, they'll be brought to a page like this. And as I said earlier, they have integration with Link. Essentially, if this user has paid with stuff in the past with Stripe, there's a high probability they'll be able to pay directly with Link automatically by just clicking. Okay, perfect. Now you know how to set up an invoice for a potential client. Let's go ahead and see how we set up a recurring subscription. To do so, we're going to come over to products here. And as you see here, this was the AI article that we created on our invoice. Now for future invoices, if we maintain the same price, we can automatically input it and it'll have all the relevant information we provided in that invoice provided for that specific product. For subscription though, we're going to go ahead and add a new product here and provide all the relevant information here. Let's go ahead and create a subscription for a maintenance. Go ahead and name it automation maintenance. Provide support after installation. So the idea behind this is that they'll pay a flat fee every single month to have access to support if something were to incur with the installation or the AI automation. You can provide an image here. For the tax category, you can go with general and services. No, I'm not a tax expert, so don't take that to heart. But in this context, it should be fine. From here, we can go ahead and set our price. So let's just say we want to set our price to 100. It's going to be recurring. And then you would choose your monthly or weekly or daily time period for when it would get charged. A lot of subscriptions are monthly, so keep it at monthly. From here, we can go ahead and just hit save product. Perfect. Now we have created a subscription product that essentially we could have the individual sign up for. Now, let's say you create your payment link, but you want to edit the checkout. We can go ahead over here to edit. And then we have a ton of different options we can choose from here. I'm going to jump over here. We can collect taxes automatically. We could collect customers' addresses, require customer to provide a phone number, include a free trial, add custom fields that may be prevalent within your subscription here. We have advanced options here, such as promotion codes, or allow the underlying business you're doing business with to provide a tax ID. Furthermore, we can go ahead and change what the post purchase would look like. So in this context, we got thanks for subscribing. A payment of webcafeai.com will appear on your statement. You could add a don't show the confirmation. You can replace it with a custom message, such as thank you for your business. We look forward to providing maintenance and so on. Now on the Stripe dashboard, you'll be able to see all payments, subscription or one-time offs within the payment tab. If you want to look at just subscription, go to billing, go to subscriptions, and this will show all users that are currently subscribed to some product within your category. Okay, perfect. So now you know how to make an invoice. You know how to make a subscription. One other question that comes up a lot when it comes to financial management is how do I create a subscription where the individual has the AI automations run in our business's backend, not the client's business's backend? And here is our solution to that. So in this context, we will assume that you've already created your subscription. You call it whatever you want to call it, and maybe it's $1,000 a month due to the fact that you have to do with the AI automation, the maintenance, the support, everything's run on your back end. So in this context, if you're running your business like this, where you host all the AI automations in your back end, you're going to be dealing with the underlying usage cost of the AI, the usage cost of Zapier, and then overall support and maintenance of those automations. Now, this may sound like a lot, but in general, a business model like this may be more fruitful due to the fact that you are doing recurring models rather than one-time payments with a business. Now, in order to effectively do this type of model, we need to make sure security is utmost priority. Therefore, when you're operating and providing your services as a business, it's always best to provide this option to businesses that are comfortable with your model and comfortable with your work. That is why we need to use a password manager like 1Password. Coming up to 1Password here, if we go to their business plan, this is going to be the plan you want to start using when you are developing clients and you're hosting their AI automations in your backend. Essentially, what this is going to allow you to do is set up different profiles associated with every single business. And what's great is that every single one of those profiles won't see each other. You will be the admin, and every single profile and its associated passwords will be provided from that business. To be more clear, essentially, when you're onboarding that potential business, they'll be provided a link to 1Password. Well, they'll enter in all the readily available logins that you need to build out the AI automations for. Once you have all the readily available logins, you'll be able to start doing work, and you'll always have them secured within 1Password's backend. Never, ever do any type of username or password transferring through email or text. Security needs to be held at an utmost priority. The last thing you want on your plate as an AI automation agency is you pass the passwords and username through email or text, and then something happens where there was a hack on the account, data was lost. This all can come back and really bite you. So really make sure that you're using top security like 1Password when handling password management. Now, for your reference, the package that you want to choose is going to be the business one. This is going to cost around $8 a month. Now, just to show you real quick, this is Stripe's documentation. There is a ton of stuff when it comes to API calls that we can do with Stripe's documentation. This is why we love this platform, and what you'll learn in the further modules from now is how to access stuff like this so you can really do custom calls for either Stripe or different platforms. But we wanted to point that out real quick. This is really why we love this platform. Okay, now you know everything you need to know about setting up payments with Stripe, single time invoices, subscription based, and a way to handle passwords when you want to host the AI automations in your backend. Stripe is a very powerful tool. There is no reoccurring cost to use Stripe. The way they make their money is based off transaction fees like any credit card processor. So now that you know how to do financial management within your AI automation, let's go ahead and jump into our next tutorial here, which is going to learn about scheduling with your first client and how to handle one-on-one calls.